Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MXGP 2020, and it is time for round 8 of our career mode, and it's time for Mantova. So here we are then, waiting for the grids to drop, and they have dropped. Decent start there for Grant. I just don't know what's going to happen on the left hand side. We might get shoved. Oh, just goodness me, I anticipated it. Usually every single time I race here, someone always bumps me wide. And there we go, we have been shoved already to the start of this race 1 here in Mantova. But on the right hand side we go, and for once it's not raining, so it's a good change. We're actually going to be racing in the dry for now so far. Who knows what's going to happen, but so far we do have guys are cold enough hurlings. Can't quite see, I do believe it's Clement Desal, our biggest rival in the championship right now as things stand, so we want to try and get ahead of him if we can as we go on around the inside of Jeffrey Hurlings. And now a bit of a lunge up on the inside of Koldenhoff, but it didn't work unfortunately. And now we'll jump into the right hand side around this berm. Whoa, Jeffrey Hurlings getting very aggressive there on the right hand side, pushing me off track. The KTM gave everything and a bit more to the Yamaha man as we got pushed right off the track, but now recovering and regaining position and focus. We're in 6th position with 2 minutes of this race remaining as we go into the left hand side now, trailing the Kawasaki man Roman Febvre. I almost couldn't pronounce that properly, but now we do have a wonderful chance of chasing them down. But I gotta be honest with you, I will confess, this part of the circuit I tend to struggle with. The start of it pretty good, the first couple of sectors, but unfortunately these next couple of sectors is where I'm going to struggle to keep up the pace. And with Clement Desal right there up in the top positions, this is going to get difficult as Kai Rowley goes around the outside, using that veteran experience and much more skill than what we have, going around the outside there into a wonderful left-hander. We've gone completely wide there. As now, goodness me, is that Paul Jonas getting up on the inside? It's one of the Husqvarna boys. And if my eyes do not deceive me, that is Jaskonis, who's just got ahead of us right now. He's taken our 7th position away and dumped us to 8th position as things stand. But now onto the right-hand side, just to start the actual official lap from now on. We'll have a 1 minute and 5 seconds of this session until we get the final 2 laps as we run it a little bit deep there into the 3rd gear on the right hand side. And now onto the right once again, trying to get the angle right of this jump. It's quite imperative that you get that right, so then your momentum for the next couple of corners is certainly in your pocket. But it looks like we're struggling a little bit. 8th position may be the best we can muster up here today in race 1 of Mantova, here in Italy of course. We go on the left hand side, big bump there as well, massive moment. Holding the line just a little bit too tight to the apex there. Got to try and maybe manoeuvre it around a little bit less than that. Of course, jumping from bike game to MXGP to MotoGP to Ride 4, etc, etc, does get a little bit difficult when you're learning each of the bikes. So back to business with the MXGP boys, and I've got to say the new one's coming up very soon, so stay tuned for a lot more MXGP if you're interested in this magnificent sport. But for the time being, quick recap. 10 seconds remaining until we get the final 2 laps, so there's not going to be many laps here in race 1, and the same will be said for race 2 as well. But right now there is a massive train of riders right behind Grant, the number 461, the championship leader of course. Been pretty much championship leader all the way through since Matterley Basin, pretty much. But now on the left hand side, in a moment's time, this really high part of the track, probably the tallest point of the track to be honest with you, as we now go into the next couple of corners, going into the deeper and dirtier, heavier ruts in some of those corners. And now going on the left hand side right next to the flag fella. Hopefully the marshal didn't get too scared of the Yamaha flying past him, as Clement Desal has just crashed. That's wonderful news, I hate to say it. And Kai Rowley has also gone down, so Kai Rowley, who was in 6th position, has gone down, with Jordi Tixia also crashing behind me. So a couple of people getting caught out in the right-hander for the final lap there, or at least for the final corner of that particular lap. So now we've got a bit of a momentum and a bit of a bit between our teeth to chase down Tony Kai Rowley, and Jaskonis is a little bit further ahead. But great news for the championship. Clement Desal struggling a little bit after doing such a great job to start this race 1 off. He seems to have fallen backwards a little bit. I do believe Clement Desal even took the Fox's whole shot as we dive up on the inside of Tony Kai Rowley. A little bit of a scrub there for you, more of a whip actually I guess, as Kai Rowley goes around the outside. Look at us being aggressive, trying to fight back against the 9 times world champion, the Italian, in one of his home tracks, fighting as much as he can today. But we now have 2 laps remaining to the end of this one, so you know what that means. Kai Rowley time will be in effect, as Clement Desal is a little bit further ahead of us, and the Husqvarna of Minas Jaskonis has now got ahead of the KRT man, as Glenn Koldenhoff in 2nd position has just met his demise. Something has happened to the man on board the gas, and then Jaskonis has done the same thing, going up on the rise, going up into that little bit of a hill, Yaskonis has just lost the front. Not sure what happened. Maybe trying to wheelie up the hill. Not entirely sure. Didn't quite honestly see it, but for the time being, we're right onto the tail of Clément de Sal, the Kawasaki man, trying to get away with all his might, but the Yamaha is really, really hot on his pace now. Trying to get past Clément de Sal is obviously priority number one for us, because we have to try and take as many championship points away from Clément de Sal as we possibly can, and the game has just restarted me for some strange reason. What the hell was that? Did I honestly go anywhere near the Marshal? I threatened the Marshal last time, didn't I, saying I was too close to him, and there you go, he finally struck his favourite Sting impression and said, "Don't stand so close to me," and we got moved off the track, so never mind. We had to restart ever so briefly there, but we're now onto the rear of Clément de Sal, back again to try and retake that 5th position. 5th position doesn't give you a massive amount of points, but as long as we take more points than Clément de Sal, that is all that truly matters. So now a big leap here, a massive leap actually, as Jeffrey Hurlings has just crashed into, not sure exactly where, but he was in 3rd position. There he is, just a little bit further ahead of us on this final lap. Not a place where you want to crash, and not a lap that you want to crash. Not on the final lap, of course. But now a massive jump. Look at that little bit of a whip again. We are really hot now, chasing down these riders ahead of us. Clément de Sal is right there, the number 25. Can we get past him sooner rather than later? Because I really want to try and get them through and give myself some points. But right now he is still holding firm. Hurling's in 4th. And is Clément de Sal going to give up 5th yet? He doesn't want to. He's certainly holding off with all his might. We're going to try and pursue him to the very end, and hopefully we can just pinch his pockets towards the end, but it's getting into the tougher section, as Glenn Koldenhoff now has made another debacle going in that big leap. And I'm going to land on top of his head if we're not careful. Clément de Sal is at... oh, what a lunge! Up on the inside of Clément de Sal, picked Glenn Koldenhoff's pockets as well, and we're going to finish in 1 position away from the podium. That is a bloody brilliant race result for us. Someone is way out in the distance. I do believe that is Tim Geiser ahead, and, well, a whole head and shoulders above everyone right now, and just made a massive mistake on the right-hand side there. Absolute carnage from a 4th position finish now to a 6th place, as that's a terrible, terrible result after already sitting in such a wonderful spot and ahead of Clément de Sal. But your winner is Tim Geiser for race 1 of here in Mantova, and it's going to be Hurlings in 2nd, Koldenhoff 3rd, and Clément de Sal in 5th position. So a quick recap: Tim Geiser, Roman Febvre, Jeffrey Hurlings, Koldenhoff, de Sal, Grant, Evans, Kai Rowley, Simpson and Jeremy Seawer are your top 10. I made a mistake, it was actually Febvre in 2nd and not Jeffrey Hurlings. So now it's time for race 2, and yes, the sun is still shining. Oh, that was a delayed start from myself there, going into the first corner. Who is going to get the whole shot? The Fox's whole shot goes to Tim Geiser, the victor of race 1 here in Mantova. But now for the right-hand side, we're onto the trail of Glenn Koldenhoff, as Clément de Sal is really getting aggressive with me there, as we try and get back up at the inside of the man on board the Kawasaki. Can we go round the outside of Glenn Koldenhoff now with the man on board the Gas? I think we can. It's a little bit of contact, but now Roman Febvre, Tim Geiser, Hurlings, Grant are all up in your top 4 positions. So what a massive moment that was, losing the front but still making the overtake ahead of Roman Febvre. I don't think Febvre wanted to let me get on through, but I think he just had no choice, as we sort of bulldozed and bullied our way through. But now we're stuck on the outside of the track there and had to be almost reset, but we're back down to 6th position. Seems to be a popular spot for Grant in this particular race, it seems, as we're now into race 2, of course, with 2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining until the final 2 laps begin. But Koldenhoff, Yaskonis and Febvre are in our sights right now. Looks like another wonderful start for Tim Geiser. Is he looking for the full 50 points here today, as Jeffrey Hurlings has made another bit of a debacle going up at that big jump there? What a mistake it is for Hurlings. He has crashed a bit actually in this past couple of races. Not exactly what we expected from Jeffrey Hurlings on board the Red Bull KTM, of course. Quick glance to our right hand side, and there is Jeffrey Hurlings once again, the Dutchman, holding on to that 5th position. The KTM holding firm against the Yamaha as things stand, but of course a lot more to go in this particular race 2 of Mantova. Now we have a little bit of a lunge up on the inside, wonderfully done, going up on the inside of Jeffrey Hurlings, picked his pockets well and truly. Like a bully at school, we went straight on through and took his lunch money. Absolutely gorgeous manoeuvre that one was. But we now have Yaskonis, Febvre and Koldenhoff ahead of us. They are denying us a potential podium finish, so you better believe we're going to try and get on through very, very soon, because we are getting closer and closer to the pivotal point of this race 2 here in Mantova. So we're now going a little bit of a jump. I still can't seem to find the angle right for that big jump. and get the jump right going into that one. I'll be right onto the tail going into the left-handers for these particular parts, but I do love this next particular part. Give it a little bit of a whip, and there you go. Land straight into the decline of the corner, and then begin your assault and trying to get on through with the other riders. There is Koldenov. Can we get through this time? It looks like we might have it if we... Oh, a bit of contact there right into the left knee of Glenn Koldenov. Nothing personal, my friend. My apologies for giving you the big don't argue, but we now go in the right-hand side. Whoa, massive moment. Never try to fully lean when mid-air. That is exactly what happens. Hearts in mouths, and a bit of a scary moment for the fans as well. But we now go around the outside of Glenn Koldenov. He's pushing me wide. Koldenov is still there. There he is up on the right, and then on the left-hand side, the lovely red colour scheme for the gas is really in your face when you're in battle with the man on board the gas, of course. Now a little bit of a scary moment doing a scrub where I probably had no business doing a scrub. I do tend to struggle with the scrubs in MXGP, not so much to do in Monster Energy Supercross, but for the time being we are playing MXGP and I need to improve my scrubs here on out. And oh my goodness, Jeffrey Hurlings hit the side of my bike there and just sent me wide and sent me careening off the track almost, because oh, massive moment trying to get on the inside. It's getting really gloves off now. The boys are battling and out infighting in the middle of the pack right now, because we don't want to be fighting for 5th and 6th position. If we work together, we can probably get further up and possibly on the podium. And Jeffrey Hurlings has made a massive moment. Lord almighty, Jeffrey Hurlings, Simpson's crash, Febvre's crashed. What on earth has just gone on in that final corner of the first or second lap? It was actually the first official lap, but Lord almighty, that was rather scary, seeing Jeffrey Hurlings just fly off his bike in front of us, and we had to slow down practically to a snail's pace just to avoid him. Very scary stuff here in Mantova as things stand. No red flags though, we're going to be continuing on. Big boy stuff, do big boy things, so it's time to just continue to push and try and chase down Roman Febvre. We have Mitchell Evans behind us as well. He's 0.6 of a second, but I'm not concerned about Evans as things stand right now because we have Roman Febvre in our sights. The former number 461, of course. Also, until Roman Febvre actually changed his number, I always had to use a different number, but now finally I've got my natural racing number, the 461, of course. Number 47 for MotoGP, 461 for MXGP. Simple enough to remember. But now on the left-hand side, Roman Febvre is 2.2 seconds clear from us on board the Yamaha as things stand, as Yaskonis actually has just crashed in 2nd position, also on board the Yamaha, so not sure, excuse me, he's on the Husqvarna, so I'm not entirely sure what has happened to Yaskonis. Probably this particular point where they go up the hill, there tend to be a lot of crashes, maybe towards the end of the track. But look at Tim Geiser, look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. That graphic is depicting how far Tim Geiser is ahead of us right now. He is miles ahead of us. So many corners in between us, all that is just ridiculous. Wonderful, wonderful performance for Tim Geiser. The Slovenian, the tall, lanky Slovenian, is kicking bottom here today, let's be honest. And now we try and get Jeffrey Hurlings back for that little bit of a cheeky manoeuvre there. But now on to the final lap as Tim Geiser sets us off. And now for the Cairoli time, if you will. But as long as it's not Hurlings time, it's going to be Grant time if we can get through on Jeffrey Hurlings. But it's going to be another back-to-back 6th position if we can't fend off Jeffrey Hurlings. But we do manage to position our bike in the exact position where we need to be, and that is ahead of Jeffrey Hurlings. So underneath the big sign we go, trying to get this jump right. I still can't seem to get it right, but it's quite alright, I'm sure, because we're still in the 5th position that we're coveting for the time being, as I make a massive mistake going wide. This has been a very... oh, come on! Obstacle avoided, really? The game has just punished me for what really didn't seem fair, but we do have a fellow Brit behind us, or at least ahead of us, the Scottish Sean Simpson. I'm going to try and get back at him and retake my 6th position. It seems to be 6 is where I'm going to be here today, or here to be the actual total of the Grand Prix. We now go on the right-hand side. We have Jeffrey Hurlings, Simpson ahead of us. Can we get back ahead of the two men on board the KTMs? Big jump here, my favourite part of the circuit, to the left-hand side. Simpson is still hanging on as we go around the outside. Yaskonis has crashed again. Somehow he crashed in 2nd, regained in 2nd, and crashed again, and still is in 2nd place. Amazing job for the man on board the Husqvarna, but it does look like 6th position is going to be our best result here today. It's going to be in our foreseeable future for the end of the Mantova Grand Prix. But on the right-hand side for race 2 is coming to a completion. Tim Geiser, you better believe he's going to win this one in a moment's time. Even if he crashed now, you better believe he's still got this one well and truly signed, sealed and delivered in this one. So major props to the Slovenian as I made another mistake. Tim Geiser, as I've just mentioned, has crashed right into the final part, but I'm pretty certain he's going to win it anyway. He certainly does. The number 243, the man on board the Honda, the Slovenian, wins here in Mantova for race 2 and for race 1, so no doubt he will take the Grand Prix victory, and Grant finishes in 6th place once again. So a look at the results so far then. Geyser, Koldenhoff, Yaskonis on the podium for race 2, Febvre, Hurlings, Grant, Simpson, Siwa, Mitchell, Evans and Clement de Sal finish in top 10 for race 2. So at the end of the Grand Prix, the results are in. Geyser wins it with a perfect 50 out of 50 points. Glenn Koldenhoff second with 40 points, and Roman Febvre takes third as well with 40 points included. Us, not so much. We finished both races in 6th position, so we got 15 points both times, thus 4 equaling 30. So guys, 5th place overall, not too bad. We managed to finish ahead of Clement de Sal, and that was goal number 1, and that is what we managed to do here today. So the championship lead now increases to 17, and the championship is getting pretty tense up at the front. So upon that note guys, thanks for watching as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and even consider hitting the notification bell to be alerted to every single DrAce upload and live stream. Thanks for watching guys, and ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.